girl.
Julina.
Ryder.
They fell in love.
Will you dance?
This whole thing's crazy.
In a secluded community.
How many do you have?
Your mom will be my fourth.
Who gives this woman to her husband in celestial matrimony?
Where one man
The Lord sees all.
has all the power.
You didn't tell me you knew the prophet's son.
I've had a revelation. God wants us to be married.
Why are you marrying her?
Julina and I are going to build a new
You
commission.
can't just take her.
It's not me who wants this, it's God.
And it's a sin to disobey.
What are we gonna do?
Mar Vista Entertainment presents Haley Lou Richardson as Julina, Jack Falahy as Ryder, Mary McCormick as Leanne, and William Apather as the Prophet in a story of passion, betrayal,
She is to be my wife, Ryder.
and sacrifice.
We're gonna get you out of here.
I told you to stay away from her.
No.
I saw you. How
I wanted to kill myself.
Escape from polygamy.
God saved you, Julina. No. You did.
Greetings, we are Group Ohana, and today we are going to present our legal review on the movie Escape from Polygamy based on the family law topic of nullity of marriage. Group Ohana consists of Wong Kai En, Goh Yong Han, myself, Sabrina Cassandra, Teo Kai Jie, and Carol Hugh. Before I proceed with the introduction, let me brief a little about the synopsis of the movie Escape from Polygamy. The movie is mainly about how Ryder and Julina, our main characters, try to protect their forbidden love. The movie is based on the polygamy lifestyle in Utah. It was also portrayed in the movie that a polygamous marriage was normalized and legal. The conflict starts when Ryder's father, Ervil, wanted to marry Julina, a 17-year-old girl, as one of his many wives. Not only did Ervil wanted to marry Julina, but he also impregnated a 13-year-old child named Esther. Now, these are the two issues that we have found in this movie. The term polygamy comes from the late Greek word polygamus. It is defined as simultaneous union of a husband to multiple wives. Other than that, the Committee on the Right of the Child has defined child marriage or underage marriage as any marriage that has one of the party in the marriage being below 18 years old. Now, the Law Reform Act 1976 has recognized two defective marriage. First off is the void marriage, where the marriage never existed in the first place. Secondly is voidable marriage, is where the marriage was originally valid until the court declares otherwise.
Good day to you, doctor. My name is Wong Kai En and my matrix number is 269547. Today, I'm going to present the discussion on nullity of marriage under the Law Reform Act 1976. In Malaysia, polygamy or bigamy in marriage is prohibited by the Law Reform Act 1976. Polygamy is defined as an act of one husband marrying multiple wives, while bigamy is a person who intentionally marries a second spouse while his or her first marriage is still in force, and the person often conceals the first marriage from the second spouse. By virtue of Section 4 of Law Reform Act, the polygamous marriage under the law or custom before the appointed date should be valid in the sense that the custom of the married person recognizes polygamy. However, under Section 5 of the Law Reform Act 1976 stipulates that the polygamous practice should be ceased on the appointed date other than provided under this Act. Next, Section 6, subsection 1 further emphasizes that the marriages contrary to Section 5 should be void, and this provision is supported by the case of Public Prosecutor versus Rajapan. The fact of the case is the respondent married the petitioner in India in 1947. In 1984, he contracted a second marriage in India again, and he was charged under Section 494 of Penal Code for committing bigamy. The court held that it has no jurisdiction to preside over the criminal case out of Malaysia, but the learned judge still held its view that such bigamous marriage is inconsistent with the Section 5, subsection 1 of the Law Reform Act 1976. Other than that, Section 69, subsection A of Law Reform Act 1976 emphasized that the ground of which marriage is void if it is polygamous or bigamous marriage. In this regard, any party to a civil marriage may petition to the court for the marriage to be nullified according to Section 68 of Law Reform Act 1976. And this principle is supported by the case of Whiston versus Whiston. The fact of the case is the respondent married Virgilio Sobaydo in Philippines and subsequently married the appellant in England when the first spouse, Virgilio Sobaydo, was still alive. Besides that, the appellant was unaware of the succeeding marriage when the bigamous marriage was contracted. The respondent admitted the bigamy, and the appellant was granted the decree of nullity. And this is all from me. Thank you.
Good day, madam. My name is Goh Yong Han with mention number 269579. It is also pertinent to discuss the underage marriage in the movie based on the context of Malaysian law. The underage marriage for non-Muslim in Malaysia is covered up by the Law Reform Marriage and Divorce Act 1976. Generally, to constitute a valid marriage, the capacity of the parties to the marriage must take into consideration. According to Section 10 in Part 3 of the LRA, it provides the minimum age requirement to be married, where a male person, he must above age of 18, and for female, above age of 16 may marry if the solemnization of marriage is authorized by a license granted in accordance with the Chief Minister's discretion under Section 21, Subsection 2 of the LRA. In Section 21, Subsection 2 of LRA, the Chief Minister may in his own discretion grant a special license to authorize the solemnization of a marriage, although the female party to the marriage is under age of 18, but not in any case before her completion of 16 years. Therefore, the party below age of 16 cannot contract a valid marriage. An underage marriage without the special license granted by the Chief Minister is said to be void under Section 69B of the LRA. In this regard, Section 68 of LRA provides that any husband or wife under a void marriage may present a petition to the court praying for a decree of nullity in respect of his or her marriage. We may refer to the case of Inderjit Singh versus Jinder Pal. In this case, the plaintiff filed a petition for the dissolution of his marriage to the respondent. The parties were married at the Marriage Registry Johor Bahru under the Civil Marriage Ordinance 1952 of Malaysia. At the time of marriage, the petitioner was 23 years of age and the respondent was 15 years of age. Due to the fact that the respondent was only 15 years of age at the time of the marriage, instead of granting a petition for divorce to the marriage, the court found that the marriage was considered void at the beginning at the time of the marriage. Hence, we may conclude that the age of the parties to an underage marriage is a prerequisite requirement to a valid marriage. That's all from me. Thank you.
Good day, Doctor. I'm Teo Kai Jie with metric number 270756. I will be presenting the comment and analysis regarding the polygamous marriage by referring to the current movie that we refer to. As discussed before, the position of the LRA clearly indicate that the practice of polygamous marriage among the non-Muslim community in Malaysia is strongly prohibited. This kind of position is consistent with the international authorities' positions such as the United Nations by virtue of CEDAW, which is one of the conventions under the authority of the United Nations. The Article 15 clearly stipulate that the state party shall accord to women equality with men before the law. By virtue of Article 16 of the CEDAW, the equal right of the man and woman in the marriage shall be given. This article were enacted upon the recommendation given by the general community of the CEDAW, which prohibit the polygamous marriage among the state parties. This position also consistent with the Lord Penzance in Hyde versus Hyde, where the learned judge held that the marriage is a voluntary union between a man and a woman. Thus, embracing polygamy is the action which denies the fundamental right of the woman. Let's proceed to the next slide. In terms of the application of the law to the movie, it is noteworthy that Bridal and Julina fall in a forbidden relationship as he had contracted a marriage with another woman already. So it is not allowed for Bridal to get married with Julina due to the existence of the subsisting marriage. This position also consistent with the position in the public prosecutor versus Rajapat, where Tun Saleh Abbas LP emphasized that the respondent was not allowed under Section 5, Subsection 1 of the LRA to contract a subsequent marriage when the existing marriage is subsisting. Thus, albeit the community in the movie believes that the polygamous marriage is allowed by their religion and it is legal in the eye of their religion, it is still invalid if this kind of situation comes into the non-Muslim community of the Malaysia, as Section 69 Subsection B of the LRA 1976 clearly indicate that the polygamous marriage shall be void under LRA 1976. That's all from me. Thank you.
I'm Carrie metric number 270949. In this part, I will comment and discuss the underage marriage in this movie. It's crucial to refer to the stance of international authority in respect of underage marriage. In fact, underage marriage is prohibited under Article 16, Clause 2 of the Conventions on the Elimination of all forms of discriminations against women on the ground that underage marriage is deemed to be an orthodox practice that tends to deprive human rights of a girl and cause gender violence against females to continue. The rights aforesaid comprise of rights to a childhood, right to expand social network instead of being isolated socially once she is married, have freedom to acquire an education, and more seriously, right to health. It is well noted that national authority has its firm stance in regard to underage marriage. For instance, Malaysia's Human Rights Commission, Suhakam, to oppose child marriage. Malaysian government was strongly encouraged by Suhakam to increase the legal age of marriage to 18 years old for both male and female in all domestic law, which is consistent with the definitions of a child as interpreted in the Child Act. In the movie, Erbo, who was the father of Ridal, wished to get married with Esther, a 13-year-old heroine. However, Section 10 of the LRA clearly stipulates that the requirement age for females must be above 16-year-old. To further justify, the legal positions of Singapore must be examined on the basis that both Malaysia and Singapore adopted common law. In the Singaporean case of Indarjit Singh versus Jinder Pal that has been discussed in 3.0, trial judge ruled that the age of marriage is a matter of capacity and it is a well-recognized principle of law that the questions of personal capacity to enter into any contract, including a contract of marriage. Thus, it is undeniable to say that the marriage between Erbo and Esther shall be void in accordance with the legal positions of Malaysia.
In conclusion, we can see from the movie that polygamy and child marriage was normalized and legalized as a valid marriage, but it cannot be said the same if both of the marriage were to happen in Malaysia, especially to non-Muslims regarding polygamy marriage. This is due to the introduction of the Law Reform Act 1976 that clearly prohibits polygamous marriage and child marriage. Both of these marriages are included in the category of void marriages under LRA 1976. Now, child marriage among non-Muslims has been on the rise, and addressing this issue is important. So we believe that our choice of movie to review on the nullity of marriage was a great choice, as it showcases of what type of marriages that is void from the very beginning. So that is all from us. Thank you very much.